Hello, Cube friends, and welcome back to another Vintage Cube draft. A couple of little quality of life upgrades here. I figured out how to cut out all that background noise in DaVinci, so that's cool. Hopefully there's a little bit less hissing going on in the background. And I also learned how to crop out my taskbar in OBS, so now you don't have to see my little snipping tool in Chrome and all the other junk that's going on down there and be worried about what time I'm drafting at and all of that jazz. So hopefully it's a little easier to listen to and a little easier to watch now. But all that aside, let's hop in and get another vintage cube draft going. The cubes are nice and fast today. All right, let's take a look. So, nothing crazy power outlier here. I think the strongest card here in a vacuum is probably Uro, and I think that is likely to be my pick here. Snapcaster Mage is also a really powerful magic card, of course. However, it is a little bit more narrow, in my opinion, than Uro. Uro is just like generically very good. Uro, of course, costing 2 colors, though, so a little bit of a trade-off there. Not sure what's going on with this Dream Halls treatment. It's got the old... Oh wow, the Arid Mesa too. Look at all these. They put the old font on them. That is hard to read. Hopefully that's not bothering you, but it is what it is. Alright, so we're lending ourselves into like a slower kind of ramp-based strategy here. I like just taking fixing for our green, blue spell here. And, I mean, nothing else is really jumping out at me on power level here, so I'm just going to take the fixing, eat my veggies. Ooh, okay, Dismember right off the bat. It's just very strong removal, colorless. Spellseeker is a powerful card, but we have nothing to get with it yet. Generous Ent is, of course, also both fixing and a ramp payoff, but not a super good ramp payoff in the grand scheme of things. Sunfall is probably the best board wipe in the cube if we want to try to move into Bant. But yeah, nothing jumping out at me on power level here except for Dismember. So we're going to continue just kind of seeing how the signals play out. Ooh, okay. Wow, sorry to harp on this, but I do not like this font. Wow, that Green Suns is just hard to look at. I'm glad they're trying new things, but geez, like what is this treatment? I don't know. We'll have to see after during the deck building. Virtue of Persistence is a card that is near and dear to my heart. Green Suns is a nice toolboxy ramp payoff. Horizon Canopy and Mana Confluence, both just generically very playable lands. I wonder if we can move into like Bug Control featuring Uro and Virtue. It's kind of cool. It's hard for me to tell what colors are open here. I mean, we've got the whole gamut here at this point. Yeah, let's go a little control-y. Grist goes right into a bug control deck, that's for sure. And if we can wheel that Green Sun Zenith, that's pretty cute too. Delighted Halfling does cast both our Uro and our Grist ahead of curve, which is really cool. Tamiyo is a little bit more combo focused, but still a powerful Sultai card, or rather, yeah, I mean a sub Sultai card. I'm gonna take the Halfling here. Ledger Shredder is in consideration as well, but we're leaning pretty slow. I'm going to be prioritizing removal, board wipes, ramp spells, kind of thing. And then just like value planeswalkers. Like, for example, the Gitrog, Ravenous Ride. Alright, what exactly does this card do? Yeah, just like draws a bunch of cards, ramps. It's like a hasty threat. I think this card is kind of crazy. Karavak is also really good, but we don't really have any hand attack yet. And I also just want to play with this Gitrog monster. I've never cast this card in any context, I don't think. Have to say, I'm not a huge fan of the art on this one, but it is what it is. Wow, City of Traders. That's late for a City of Traders. Garruk is also really strong. Removal spell that cranks out some 2/2s. To rock. We're not super black yet. I think we're going to end up base green here. We don't have a lot to actually cast off the City of Traders at the moment. So this removal spell that's also a value engine seems like it slots really well into our game plan. Harvester of Misery is another great example of something that does that. In the early game, it's a removal spell. In the late game, it's a board wipe. I like it. Urborg is kind of interesting fixing here. Zeator's Proving Grounds, funnily enough, is basically an overgrown tomb that we can actually fetch with Scalding Tarn. I guess it always enters tapped, but you know, it's a green-black source that our Scalding Tarn actually gets, which is kind of cute. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Where's my sideboard here? Make sure we can get our land counts correct. Kaito is another great value engine. Oh, we did find the green suns. Okay. We're going to have to start prioritizing some value creatures here that are green. But so far, like, Grist is a great reason to have this card. And if we can find some other stuff, then that would be great. Not sure about this card, but we can spec on it. I think it's a little bit better than Sylvan Safekeeper. Oh, and the Hydra's back. Hydra is a nombo with Green Suns, of course, but probably a card we're still just happy to play. All right, how did we do here? Hymn to Turok is probably the most powerful card in this pack. Smuggler's Copter is up there as well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Hymn here. It's pretty hard to pass this card. Our fixing is getting pretty bad. I didn't mention the Solitude on power level. I think this is probably the most powerful card in the pack, but we can't really put it in our deck. Yeah, we're going to have to prioritize fixing a lot here, but Hymn to Turok is so powerful that I'm ready to just take it with the assumption that we're going to be looking for a lot of fixing lands in the future. Didn't find any fixing lands here, but we did find an absolute glut of good Sultai cards. Hex Drinker is crazy, Hull Breacher is pretty crazy. Wild Speaker ramps us up into the big stuff. Bitter Triumph is one of the best removal spells in the cube. Let's go with some removal here, I think. We are doing pretty well on actual threats and ways to win the game. Bitter Triumph removes basically all the problem permanents in the cube. And so I think I'm going to draft it over something along the lines of Hex Drinker or Palantir, just because we've already got so many good ways to win the game. Okay. Bloodstained Mire, Undercity Sewers. I think I'm on Bloodstained Mire here. Ignoble Hierarch is also quite strong. But if we're going to try and support Hymn to Turok in our like blue-green deck, I mean, we're shaping up to be a black-green deck that has an Uro in it at this point. But still, I think fixing is going to be really important here. And there's a good number of cards in this pack that I wouldn't mind wheeling. Sewers, Leovold, Hierarch, even Cut Down, Karn maybe. So, happy with the Bloodstained Mire. All right, there's our Thoughtseize, but also Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is so powerful. I think you're typically making a mistake to pass fast mana in this cube. It's one of the things that sets this cube apart from like non-vintage cubes, more traditional, I don't know, legacy-ish cubes is usually the fast mana. And I think if there's going to be broken things, you want to be participating in them. Here's our breeding pool. That's going to be critical. We do have a fetch land that just doesn't get breeding pool, unfortunately. But I still think we need it. Grab that. Prismatic Vista is going to be pretty good here. So is Infernal Grasp. How are we doing on removal? So we got the Triumph, we got the Dismember. Grist and Garruk are kind of removal spells. Harvester of Misery is kind of a removal spell. Virtue Persistence. Yeah, I'm going to take the fixing here. Birds of Paradise is definitely fixing as well. I'm also eyeing this Bone Shards because now that we have the Dark Ritual, we have outs to being a Reanimator deck, even if we don't have any crazy Reanimator targets. Just having Dark Ritual for, like discard your Harvester of Misery and then reanimate it, or Bone Shards discarding Gitrog or something like that. It's possible that the Birds is just better here, though. Got a lot of ways to get card advantage at this point, and so trying to get those onto the battlefield faster, I think, is probably good. Okay. Graveyard Trespasser and Vaultborn Tyrant, both good. Vaultborn Tyrant could be a reason to get this Green Suns back into the deck. Interesting. The Trespasser is also quite powerful. I'm gonna sideboard this Tyrant for now, and we're gonna see where we get with the Green Suns and stuff. Oh, Lazav came back. Yeah, this card is really cool. I don't know if it's what our deck is doing right now, but it kind of feeds into the Vaultborn Tyrant thing. If we can turn into a like control reanimator sort of thing. Sylvan Caryatid is also just a really good pick here. I think I might do that. We don't have that many ways to discard a card quite yet. Oh, wow. Okay, the Garruk and the Baleful Mastery came back. This makes me want to put the Garruk and the Vaultborn Tyrant into the deck. We're getting a little rampier here. We've got a couple of pretty good mana sinks in terms of Virtue, Gold Vein, and then we can bring the Green Suns and the Vaultborn Tyrant in, and then I'm feeling pretty good about like what our long-term plan is. And then we can start shifting back towards prioritizing removal, I think. Let's give this a try. Get this back in here and get this back in here. And the Ignoble Hierarch comes back too. Is that better than Cut Down here? Hard to say. It does kind of fix our mana too. All right, let's grab that. And okay, so this is just like 2-for-1s our opponent. I guess 3-for-1s our opponent when it enters the battlefield. That's kind of cool. Better than Ranger class? Not sure. Oh, and we get the Arbor Elf back too. We're like really a ramp deck now. That's pretty cool. Okay, Cradle, Sheoldred, Wooded Foothills. I think I'm on Sheoldred here. Lorien Revealed is also in consideration. Once Upon a Time is always in consideration. Ragavan is probably, like Ragavan, Cradle, and Fractured Identity are probably the best cards in this pack. But I don't know if we're all in enough on the ramp to want the Cradle. We're going to have some board states where we just don't have any creatures and it's totally dead. And that's not going to be good. Wooded Foothills is also very good in our deck, and I don't think we're going to see that card come back. But, I mean, Sheoldred is so powerful. It's definitely going to be between Wooded Foothills and Sheoldred for me. I'm going to grab this. Oh, wow. Natural Order. Just, like, squeeze the Natural Order in here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasonable things to sacrifice to it. Grist makes green creatures. Garruk makes green creatures. Both Garruks make green creatures. I think it might be good enough with the Vaultborn Tyrant. I mean, once again, if there's broken things to be doing, you should probably be doing them. It's like a good rule of thumb. Let's do it. This is turning into like a weird, significantly stronger version of the green deck I drafted last week. Okay, Control gets all of our colors. Proving Ground. No, it doesn't get blue yet. Still really good though. Treachery really good. I just like, yeah, I mean Troll is just a fetch land that's also a ramp target. Creeping Tar Pit, pretty good here. Fixing and a control finisher. Pick Your Poison is often quite playable. I feel like we could wheel that card. Rafine's Tower is a blue source we can get with Troll, which is possibly relevant. Maybe that's better than Tar Pit. We can also get it with Bloodstained Mire, which currently doesn't get blue mana either. Okay, I've settled on Rafine's Tower. Regrowth. Definitely playable. Valky, kind of interesting. We can technically cast the back off of our Ignoble and our Zeator's Proving Ground. It also kind of slows the opponent down on the front. It's not really removal, but it's like kind of removal. Oh, I've gotten too caught up in how cool it would be to cast the back of this card. Yeah. Let's do it. Sylvan Library. Gruff Triplets. Gruff Triplets is a great natural order target. Sylvan Library is great card advantage. Are we too low on ramp targets here? Trips definitely gets there. What would we cut? We're at 24 here. I think we can play 16 lands currently in this deck with all these mana dorks. So the cut is like... Oh, we also have a Dark Ritual. Maybe we play 15 lands in this deck. That might be a little crazy. 15 land ramp deck. That might be a mistake. Long Goodbye. Not unconditional, but still removal. Or we just go all in on the natural order, and we become a little bit less of a control deck and a little bit more of a ramp deck. Okay. Force of Vigor. Oh, here's Entomb. But we don't have anything to actually use the Entomb for. We have no Reanimator spells. Well, we have the Virtue, but that doesn't really count. Do we want to board in this Force of Vigor sometimes? I feel like this card isn't actually that good in Vintage Cube, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not psyched about any of these cards, so I think what I'm going to do is spec on the Entomb, just in case like somehow a Reanimator spell comes by. Oh, the Cradle came back. Okay, now I think we want the Cradle. We picked up a lot more kind of ramp-focused things. Oh boy. It's possible that Once Upon a Time is just better, but Cradle, once again. Oh, okay. Whew. Thought I unclicked it. Scared myself for a second there. Boseiju is a removal spell that goes straight into the mana base, which is great. I do love me some Outland Liberator. I play that card in Legacy, and it is a powerhouse when you flip it, let me tell you. We even got the Pick Your Poison back. Is this card mean boardable? I think it might be. This is going to be a hard build. Wow. regrowth back too. And the Sylvan Library. No one wants green cards. We went from like a nice clean 24-ish card deck that would have been really easy to make cuts from into this, like, we just got everything on the wheel. This is going to be tough to build. Okay. I think all of these lands are lands we actually want to be playing. Cradle, Pool, Boseiju, and Bloodstained Mire. Yep. Troll of Khazad-dûm is going to go in a land slot. Unfortunately, the Aspirational Valky I don't think is going to get there. We just found so many powerful 2-drops in that last pack. We were really light on 2s when we drafted it, but then we just found Library, Paradise Druid, Regrowth, like, yeah. As much as I love casting the back of that card. So, here we are with 29 spells in our deck. Dark Ritual, I think, can be a mana source. And we've got 5 1-mana dorks. So, this is tough. Gitrog, probably? Gitrog is like weirdly mid-rangey for what we're doing here. We have a lot of top end and we have a lot of like early game stuff here. It does cash our mana dorks back out into cards, which is kind of cool. But I don't know. Hostile Investigator is also just like kind of a random mid-range card. I don't know if that really slots into what we're doing here. Kaito draws us a bunch of cards, but doesn't necessarily contribute to our game plan otherwise. And then do we have enough blue sources for the back of Uro? We've got the Breeding Pool, we've got the Rafine's Tower, we've got one basic island probably for our prismatic Vista. Plus all the fetch lands that get Rafine's Tower, so yeah, that should be totally fine. Like 3 actual blue sources and way more ways to actually get those blue sources. So 15 lands feels right to me here. But one of those lands is Dark Ritual, so I think I want to probably shave another spell. I'm willing to count Dark Ritual as a land, but not if we're also counting all of our mana dorks as half a land. Is it possible that Pick Your Poison is sideboard tech? We've already got Bitter Triumph, Dismember, Grist, Garruk, Harvester, Virtue. Okay, Pick Your Poison into the sideboard. I don't know, we're just so cold to like some crazy value enchantment. What is our actual forest count here? This is a forest, this is not a forest, this is not a forest. Is it possible that Arbor Elf is... I mean, we're playing a bunch of non-forest green sources here. And we're also playing 2 additional colors. Could be Arbor Elf. Okay. I don't know. Really not sure. Let me know what you think on how I should have built this. Get these back in there. So this is going to be, we get 6 basics here. One of them has to be, oh, just didn't save these. Okay. One of them has to be an island for sure. And one of them has to be a swamp. And I think the rest are going to be forests, probably. It's going to be a little hard to cast this Hymn to Turok on curve, but luckily that card is still busted when you cast it not on curve. So we're going to do it like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Here is Sultai, I don't know, black green Uro, we'll call it. All right, here we are in match 1 against Jake 8907, who has skillfully won the die roll. We do have a bunch of lands, a Mana Dork, and a Garruk Relentless we can cast on turn 3. His hand's not great, but I think I'm just going to keep it. We are on the draw. I think it's pretty likely we find something to do. the red-white player with nothing. Interesting. So we'll get in. Go ahead and block with your, what is it, Cathar Commando? Guess not. Okay. They're reading some kind of red-white control deck, which is a little odd. I'm gonna grab the breeding pool instead of the tower, and that's just in case I want to like cycle the tower in the future, basically. Yeah, it's a good one. I have to trade my whole Garruk with it, unfortunately. Let's grab the Proving Ground. I guess Rafine's Tower gives us access to the back of Uro. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend my whole turn killing this. And I am gonna spend Prismatic Vista doing it. I don't know if Mana Tithe is in the cube right now, but I'm gonna be really bummed if that's what happens here. That's a good one. We do get to dismember the token and kill the Fable, which is probably just totally fine. They do have 3 cards left in their hand. So I'm going to kill this now. And then I'm going to pass and see. I'm willing to give them a treasure for the information. Because Gruff Triplets definitely beats Goblin Shaman token. Yeah. That's a good reason. So let's see. I'm going to end up taking 6 here. No, they didn't dash it in, so I can kill the Shaman. Yeah, realizing now that I could have played basic Swamp last turn and not taken this extra damage here. And now hopefully I just block their Death Greeter's Champion. That's a really good draw. All right. Reprieve? Yeah, sure. Uh-oh. Okay, that'll put me to 4. Grist, okay. And the Raptor does have Trample. So I have to triplets here. And I'm not dead on board. If they pump twice, I take 2. But they do have 3 cards in their hand. The Tyrant gains me life, I think. Yeah, 3 life. Okay. Okay, that kills me. They're pitch casting it. If they kill my thing, yeah, that should kill me if they do it correctly. I go up to 7. They pump twice. I take 5. Oh no. Okay, that doesn't kill me. Not dead yet. Eight, 5. Yeah, okay. They do get to keep the Raptor here, but they do lose the Death Greeter's champion. So, let's see. I'm gonna go to 2. I'm going to 1, 2, 7. So I can't Grist plus Harvester or anything like that. But I do get to gain some life here. And even if they do pump, I will, let's see, I'm gonna go up to 5. All right. I might have to sack the Baldborn Tyrant to Grist next turn, depending on what they do. It does gain me more life and kill their thing. Okay, a Braid is enough, I think. That's Xaxes. Unfortunate. Good line, though. All right, red-white aggro. Red-white aggro with no 2-drops in their deck. So, tough cookie, perhaps. Just to have something on board that blocks. I don't know. Or I could just not keep a 5-land hand this time. That might help. I don't think there's anything here that's like particularly good against aggro. Maybe Valky. Valky over like Sylvan Library. Just to slow their curve down. Yeah, okay. Looks good to me. Ramp spell, removal spell. Regrowth doesn't do anything quite yet, but Virtue of Persistence is so good in this matchup. Just like kill your thing, gain some life. Sure. All right, just how we drew it up. Let's see. Lelia actually just dies to Virtue of Persistence. But also if we take the Lelia, they can't Pyrokinesis. Yeah, okay. Turning Valky into a Lelia next turn is also pretty sweet. What does it want me to do? Activate this for 0? I guess I technically can do that. I think I'm not going to spend my mana turning Valky into a Lelia this turn because I don't really get the card advantage. I deal the same amount of damage by playing the Noble Hierarch out. Gives me an opportunity to put the Breeding Pool in tapped. think that's fine. And then we can still attack for 3. Gonna yield to those. Yeah. See, this is what makes Valky so good, is like the tempo. Yes, we are going to activate this now. Can't cast the hymn. Unfortunate. Could have left black up, but did not do that. Okay, this is just gone. And I don't think we want to spend our regrowth on this halfling. So that's what we got this turn. Here's the Paragon. Oh, Palace Jailer. Okay. It's pretty good. Palace Jailer, I cannot read because it has this weird border. It does in fact die to Virtue of Persistence. So that's really good. Get to kill this, we get to take the Monarchy back. We get to take their Lelia back. Now I feel pretty rolled up at this point. Okay, pitch the NT. Okay. So now, what do we do? Probably just pass. We are going to start losing card advantage here, but it is what it is. Jeez. Okay, next turn we get to Dark Ritual out the lock or the Virtue if we draw an untapped source, and then I think we probably just win. Okay. So this is going to be Birds, Buyback, Dismember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Regrowth, target, Dismember, and this sets us up for next turn to Dark Ritual into Virtue Persistence and hopefully win the game from there. Taking Palace Jailer out of their graveyard should seal the deal, I hope. That's fine. I want to save the Dismember for the Sarah Paragon. Thalia. That's frustrating. Wow. That's exactly what they needed. All right. I still think we can wait another turn, I guess. Here's our forest right on time. So let's just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we spend 2 mana down to 3 on Dark Ritual, then we get 6 total mana, which is not enough to cast our 8 mana Virtue Persistence. So, or no, we go up to 7 because there's 6 sources here. But either way, can't do the thing. So Serra Paragon next turn doesn't actually have anything to cast. So if we end step kill the Thalia, then we can still do our thing on the following turn. All right. Right, this is like 3 or less. Yeah, mana value 3 or less. Oh, wait, that does get Lelia. 3 or less. Ugh. I still think we have to let the Lelia come back. Jeez. We can kill the Serra Paragon in upkeep. And then we have to rip a land in order to beat the Thalia. Or we can guarantee the Virtue Persistence. But we take a lot of damage doing that. Wow. I think we should kill the Serra Paragon. I don't know. Untapped land still gets us there. 6 plus 2. Six, 7. Oh my god. Alright. Wow, that Thalia was absolutely backbreaking. We were just tapped 1 mana too low to actually kill it. But untapped source here gets us to 7, and then Dark Ritual gets us up to 8. And I think we might still have a shot. 5. Yeah, we're going to go really low, but we have outs. That is definitely not one of them. Wow, that card does stone cold nothing on this board. Alright. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, still good in 2024. Look at that. Six, 10. Yeah, that's lethal. Oh, got a block. Green Suns for X equals 3. Gets Grist the Hunger Tide and then kills us. Oh, yep, we're dead. Super dead. I mean, I guess I'll cast it. See what we got. I guess I should ritual first. I don't know what we can get here. Uro puts us up to 5 and we die. Mana Dorks all kill us. Yeah, just dead. Just dead. I'll show them my cool Uro though. Check that out. Here's my island. Alright, I'm out of here. Heartbreaking. Alright. Well, let's give it another go. Maybe they won't have exactly Thalia in exactly the right time and exactly the right place. Ooh, and I won the die roll this time. Love to see it. This hand looks quite good to me. Opponent, the elements went to 6. Okay. I am going to shock in the breeding pool just in case we find more lands. Well, that's probably bad. Woodfall Primus is a 6/6. Yeah, can't even... Oh, okay, they don't have anything for it, so that's good. We don't have any way of actually dealing with this Woodfall Primus. So I can put... kind of want to just draw all of these cards and then gain some life with Uro. And it looks like opponent doesn't care much what our life total is. They're just going to try to Woodfall Primus us. And this way, if we hit an untapped green source, we even get to Noble Hierarch. Virtue of Persistence gives us a little life back. We can use that in conjunction with Dismember to maybe kill the Woodfall Primus or something. I don't know. Like, it does just come back and blow up another permanent. Maybe we can put enough game objects onto the battlefield that Woodfall Primus just doesn't matter anymore. So close. Okay. Yep. They went after the tower. Wow, still no lands. All right. So I think I want to spend this turn casting Hierarch plus Caryatid. We might be able to just race the Woodfall Primus with Sheoldred and Virtue. So I'm going to put this card on top of my library and this card on top of my library. And then I'm going to cast this card. And I'm going to cast this card. And that's what we've got. Opponent has spent a huge number of cards in hand to put this Woodfall Primus onto the battlefield. We'll see if we can take advantage of that. If the Sheoldred sticks for one turn and we get to gain 6 life every turn, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Okay, there's a land. On top and on top. We are going to cast this Sheoldred the Apocalypse. I think we're going to end up blocking with the Noble, most likely. We'll see. But this is definitely a combo. Sylvan plus Sheoldred. Let's see, what do we think? We scared of like Bowmasters? I don't think this 1 mana matters, and I think there's a good number of ways for them to just kill us. And we're just so winning if we get even 1 upkeep here. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna put the Tyrant back. We're gonna play the island this turn. Alright, we're 1 mana away from Virtue. We could also just regrowth and cast Uro, which is a little weird. But it does get us 3 life and 1 card deeper. We want to spend regrowth to draw a card and gain 3 life? I think so. That's just like kind of fine for 2 mana in this spot. Sorry, that should have been blue. Oh. And that should have been green. I'm a mess. There we go. Don't have a land card. I do get 2 more life. I am going to cast this. And then we're going to go ahead and get in for 4. Not too shabby, 11 life. 3 off the Uro, 2 off the Sheoldred off the Uro. And then another 6, yeah. Okay, Troll is here. Oh, they do have blue mana in their deck. They're ready to block now. Ooh. Good thing I have this Dismember. I might even just Harvester of Misery it because I'm about to slam Virtue Persistence. Oh, I had to unyield to this. Damn. Okay, that's my bad. I actually don't even know how to do that, to be completely honest with you. Undo the yield. So, let's see. How do I... Can I do that? Can I just, like, turn off auto yields? Does that get rid of all of my auto yields? Maybe it does. I'm not sure. Assuming that works correctly, I think what I'm supposed to do here is play the Virtue of Persistence and then kill it next turn in response to the Sylvan Library trigger. So I guess we'll just see if that goes well for me. Okay, looks like that did work correctly. Oh, interesting. Now I get got by the Uro trigger. Yeah, that should be fine. I still think I want to gain the life and give them the treasure. Because they have 4 cards in hand. Maybe not. I'm going to get the arrow back anyway. So, let's just get this. What I needed to do was stop in my upkeep. That's what I wanted. How do I do that? Hello? My turn. Set stop. Okay. I hardly know how to use Moto, in case you haven't noticed. Now I can get rid of this stop. Okay. That's fine. Okay. I want to yield to these as well. Put that onto the battlefield. Yield to this one. Yield to this one. Yeah, all of this would have been fine if I had successfully put a stop in my upkeep instead of trying to do the whole thing in my draw step. I am going to put this one back on top, and I'll just keep both of these. Play a land for turn, and I can shuffle away the Gold Vein Hydra, I think. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, so I can even hold up the Dismember. That sounds good to me. Oh, I have to activate the Prismatic Vista first. Do I have... Yes, I have forests left. Really stumbling through this. Sorry about that. But here's my Vaultborn Tyrant. Okay, they're done. So, Reanimator. Again, not a ton of actual graveyard hate here. The best thing I can do against Reanimator is just get ahead of them with Locked and Scorn, Virtue of Persistence, and just take their stuff. There's also a bunch of interesting things I can do in response to Exhume in this deck, so that feels pretty good. I've got the Troll, I've got the Harvester. I think I'm just going to run it back like this. I'm not as worried about the Valky in this matchup. Pick Your Poison sometimes does something against Necromancy. In that particular case, it would have been pretty bad because of the Woodfall Primus. But, you know, if they put an Archon under it or something. I guess that one has flying anyway, but you get what I mean. All right, let's see. 2 lands, 2 drop, and both of my 4 drops are 3 drops. Off of Sylvan Caryatid. Potentially interaction here. I'm just going to go ahead and keep this one. Cradle is a little dead here. It's not super dead. It might start going off with Garruk, we'll see. Watery Grave tapped and pass. Okie doke. No black sources here, so I can't like ritual out the Sheoldred or anything like that. But next best thing is just ramp into it next turn. I'm gonna start off with the Garruk most likely because, again, no double black here without the Dark Ritual. But Triplicate Titan is a good one. That might just kill me. Lotus Petal, okay. Okay, not dead yet. That's good news. I am going to go ahead and slam the Garruk and just hope that gets us there. I mean, we could start with the Sheoldred instead if we're willing to spend the ritual on it. And maybe if they start digging for answers, then that deals a bunch of damage to them. Tough one. We do get to play the tap land if we ritual out the Sheoldred, which is potentially good. But they might be holding up counter magic here. I think I'm going to give that a try. And that's what we got. Okay, Toxic is pretty good. And they take my Sheoldred as well. Alright, yeah. This is just going to be Paradise Druid. And Cradle. We could cast the Goldvein Hydra. I don't think it's really worth it here. Yeah, that should be fine. I would like to start cranking out some wolves here. I'm glad they spent the Toxic before the Garruk came down, that's for sure. Although Toxic would have been much worse against like onboard Planeswalker. So like in retrospect it would have been better to Garruk instead of Sheoldred, but yeah, that's not generally a good way of determining your magic heuristics. I'm just gonna kind of F6 here, hoping to make a little bit of that clock back. I was making a lot of decisions last game, that's for sure. Opponent also lost a little bit of clock at the beginning of this game. I'm going to edit it out, of course, but they spent all of their sideboard time and then another like 2-ish minutes at the start before mulligans. Probably just went to go do something else in between the games. They're at an effective 3 cards in hand here from the Soul Guide Lantern. And they do have a pretty decent amount of mana. I don't know if they're just bricking or what, but I am going to go ahead and commit this Garruk. I don't want to tap the Cradle for it because the Cradle makes mana with the wolf. What do we got? Fatal Push. Okay. Sure. And I am going to play this just for maximum Goldvein Hydra. Okay, there's the card draw. They're back to 2 cards in hand. That is a bunch of mana. Some great. Oh, 7 mana. Oh, it's the back of Valky. Okay, I think we can beat this. If they choose to exile the wolf, they did not. Okay. So let's see. Delighted Halfling is mana neutral here. So I am going to make a wolf. I'm going to make a halfling. And I'm going to make a Goldvein Hydra. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be exact lethal on Tybalt. Attack Tybalt and attack Tybalt. Okay, now I'm feeling pretty good here. Even Triplicate Titan, I think we can beat at this point. We have the Pick Your Poison for the front half, and then they turn it into 3/3/3s, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm gonna take the Paradise Druid. Yep, there's the Tar Pit. Tar Pit kills my Garruk. Okay. I can't really commit the Harvester of Miseries here because it kills a bunch of my creatures. We'll see. What we can do is cast this, try to get them to block a bunch, and then kill their stuff with Harvester. Like if we attack out, then their blocks are actually quite bad, even though they don't know it. Flying, Vigilance, and Trample. So if we attack with all of our creatures, they can kill 3 of them, and I'll still have enough mana to Harvester second main with the Gaia's Cradle. Perfect. That is exactly the kind of block we wanted to see. Because now even the Goldvein Hydra survives, and we're just going to be way ahead on board. Yeah, that's fine too. Oh, I didn't realize you can just cast it forever. That's neat. Yeah, that's why it does the emblem, so you don't have to control the Tybalt anymore. Okay. This does actually stop us from casting Harvester of Misery this turn, doesn't it? Okay, that was a huge misplay on my part, because I didn't realize they could cast the Bitter Triumph. Yeah, okay. We might be dead now. That was pretty bad. We could have left the Delighted Halfling up. Ugh. Brutal. Alright, well, that's what I get, I guess. We might even have to discard the Harvester of Misery to kill the Creeping Tar Pit at this point. Maybe not. Can we race it? We're at 20, they're at 8. We have a bunch of mana. We just have to find like Uro or something. Okay, regrowth for what? Pick Your Poison? Goldvein Hydra? We could shrink one of the creatures and then buy back the Harvester of Misery. We could get back the Garruk Relentless and fight one of the creatures. We could get back the Goldvein Hydra and attack for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they have to block. Jeez, and they're going to get to Shelldock me next turn. We could commit the Harvester of Misery and then sack one of their things. And then they get to hit me for a guaranteed 6. And then I can block. I think that's the lion. I want to take this, Pick Your Poison back. I can't cast the Harvester of Misery without killing the Delighted Halfling. I forgot about that. All Alright, hang on. I do get to block and kill one thing. They put me to 6. Okay, I think the better line is actually just regrowth the Hydra, attack them for lethal, force them to block, and then block, take 6. I think so. It has to be exactly x equals 8, which is all of my mana. So I can't even leave back the halfling. Six, 7, 8. Alright, I'm dead to any removal spell. I guess I'm dead to any removal spell that costs less than 4 mana. Okay, because they don't have it. So if I attack, they have 5 toughness up right now. They also have potentially an instant speed blocker. Ooh, okay. That's a big draw. Goldvein Hydra even has trample, so I'm just going to attack with that. And then I think I should be able to kill them with between the Harvester of Misery and the Dismember. I mean, they could have anything under the Sheldok Isle, of course. We know there's a Woodfall Primus in their deck. I think that most ways they block should kill them with 2 different shrinking removal spells and trample. Let's see. That's a good one. Wow. Alright. Well, it still depends on how they block. They're going to get to draw a card. They're going to get to go up to 6. If they block with just the Tyrant, or if they block with Tyrant Golem, we still get them. We can deal 7 additional damage to them with Harvester of Misery, and they have 11. 11 toughness. No, sorry, 9 toughness. Okay, well, let's just see how they block, and then do the math. Wow, okay. They just, like, drew something nuts off the Voltborn Tyrant, too? Is that what happened? Oh, God. Now they get to gain an additional 6 life. Wow. That's crazy. I'm just dead now. Trample, unblockable. Yeah, just super dead. Oh, alright. I have to figure out how to win this game in 5 minutes. Yep, I would like to play first. Yes, keep. 3 lands, natural order, Grist. This looks really good. If there's any hand that wins the game in 5 minutes, it's this one. That's really good. That speeds up our clock by 1 whole turn. Can just natural order next turn. Now this is interesting. If we want to play around Toxic, we should get Vaultborn Tyrant, but if we want to play around like single target removal spells, we should play around, or we should get Gruff Triplets. Gruff Triplets is also a faster clock, so I think I want to lean towards that, even though we do die to Toxic. Opponent is also significantly less worried about their clock than I am, seemingly. So that is an angle as well. I'm going to go ahead and gruff some triplets next turn. Another angle we have is Garruk on tap. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yep. Just like turn 1, make 9. 9 power. Yep. We might need to gain life with the Vaultborn Tyrant now. Oh, shit. Okay. Now we're probably just dead. We can kill one of them with Virtue, or we can do that next turn and commit the Grist this turn. See if we can get them to attack the Grist. They're going face with everything. I am going to block this. Okay, Forest is good. Garruk. That kills us. Ugh. Wow. Just Lotus Petal Flash. That's Vintage Cube, I guess. Another absolutely heartbreaking match loss. But yeah, just really high variance format, I guess. Alright, here we are in match 3 against Botted. This hand looks quite good to me, so I'm going to keep it. We get to cast our Birds of Paradise. I get to cast our other stuff. Just ramp into good spells. Oops. Yeah, I guess this is what alpha cards look like now. I don't know. Not sure if I'm about it. Okay. We have no land here. So I think I am going to slam the Uro to try and get 1 card deeper. Because hitting the 4th land is going to be kind of important for all of these good spells we have here. I have no land card for this. Untapped Source does get us some Gruff Triplets, though. Oof. Alright, only 1 hit there. Still super alive to a land. Yeah, you get me for 2. If we don't draw the land, we can just kill the Evolved Sleeper, I guess. Can't cast this him. Alright. I'm going to do this main phase. I recognize that it's probably good for me tempo-wise if they spend their whole turn upgrading their thing. But I will... I don't know. I am also just worried about taking damage, and I think I start to pull way ahead once I find mana source number 4. They got their own him over there. Yes, maybe. I wonder if they were trying to shock that Godless Shrine in and messed it up. Not sure what's going on over there. Okay, Tenacious Underdog. Jeez, can't really catch a break over here. I mean, this does represent another mana source, so I'm going to cast it. Can grab our, what's his face, the 2/1? Paradise Druid. I'm going to lead on the Hymn to Turok here, I think, depending on what they do. I guess I can... No, I can't. I was going to say I could Garruk and then untap and then Hymn, but I actually can't do that because all of my black sources are creatures. If I draw an untapped black source, I can do that. Sheoldred seems really good against Tenacious Underdog for all sorts of different reasons. Just like blocks it, they have to pay twice for the cards. Okay, we drew the Gruff Triplets. That's a little unfortunate. I am going to go ahead and slam this. I'm worried about Reanimation Spell out of them, which I guess they could have at instant speed technically, but there aren't anywhere near as many of those compared to the sorcery speed ones. Okay. I think they are probably an Ephemerate deck, seeing Steel Seraph here, and they're also in like Grief colors. Okay, Bloodstained Mire. So this represents Garruk, untap, nothing, or Slam Sheoldred. We could also Natural Order. I think it's going to be Slam Sheoldred, mostly because I'm worried about getting cut off of my black mana from some kind of board wipe or something like that, or just like removal spells in general. I'm worried about stranding this card in my hand in the long term if I don't try to put it onto the stack now. Sure. Grave Titan. I think I can maybe beat Grave Titan. We'll see. I mean, I've got removal spells in my deck, of course. And grab the Proving Ground here. Dismember doesn't quite do it. I wonder if we can get them to block. I feel like probably not. But, okay, so if they do block, we dismember the Grave Titan. If they don't block, we can turn the Paradise Druid into a Vaultborn Tyrant, which also blocks the Grave Titan. How does that sound? Sounds kind of medium, honestly. But we're going to give it a try. If they block with Zombie Token, then that's pretty bad. But I don't really know why they would do that. Ooh. Okay. So I think this is now going to be go to damage, cast the Garruk, untap, cast the Dismember. They do get to kill the Garruk if I do that, but I think that's fine. Because we're going to be pretty low on life either way. If they spend a whole turn killing the Garruk and then we get to natural order next turn, I think that's good. We can also just slam Gruff Triplets if they don't kill the Garruk, and then I think we're ahead even if we're at 2. See what happens. Okay, so they did go with kill Garruk. Puts us to 6, and then we can gain 3. We can even sack the Halfling. No, we can't. Never mind. Alright, well, either way, here's my natural order. Okay, Virtue is a great draw. What's going on over there? Okay, that's fine. Get to gain another 3 life. We get to kill their thing. Wait, this thing stays... Whoa. I totally thought this was an artifact that wasn't a creature when it came back. And the idea was it gave you, like, an emblem. But this is way better. Wow, this card is even better than I thought it was. It's not a token. Create a token that's a copy of it except as an artifact. Yeah, no, I thought it was, I thought it just came back, like, there was some old commander that did that. Like, when your creature dies, it comes back as an enchantment, but it's not a creature anymore. Alright, what are they grabbing? Oh, Grave Titan. Yeah, it's a good one. Now he might be dead. Let's see. Virtue does gain us more life. We're just so gated on mana here. I think we have to kill a zombie. Doesn't feel good, but like the Tenacious Underdog just comes back, so. So this is going to be trade. Trade the Vaultborn Tyrant for the Grave Titan. And then rip a land and pray. This is 6, 9. We go to 5. We make Gruff Triplets, and then hopefully we stabilize from there. Okay, so you get 2 more. If we do make Gruff Triplets, we go to 5. We still can't block all of the creatures. That actually kills us. I mean, we're blocking the Grave Titan anyway. That's for sure. What gets us out of this? If we don't block with Delighted Halfling and then we draw exactly Dark Ritual. No, that doesn't work because we don't have enough green sources. This one's for sure. And then this is 9 damage. We take the 9. What can save us here? Land, Gruff Triplets, block, block, block. Take 6. Take exactly 6, yeah. But if we block with the halfling, we can't even cast the gruff driblets. So, yeah, I think it's like this. Here's the land. So we can cast the trips and hope they miss it. That doesn't seem like a great line. I mean, the other line is like make a gold vein hydra and die anyway. So we are dead on board. We just have to see if our opponent messes up. Oh. Okay. Yep, I can't use this mana for this. This has to be colorless mana. Okay, there we go. They figured it out. Unfortunate news. Okay. Opponent is mono black reanimator. Surprise, surprise. I think Valky is fine. Not that good. Is there anything that's like truly bad against them? Not really. Maybe something like Garruk Relentless is not that good here, and we just bring in Valky to try and knock them off their curve. Knock them off their curve sounds pretty stupid against a deck full of 6-drops. Maybe we just want to go faster. Do like this. Yeah, it's probably fine. Ah, perfect. The Zero Lander. This one is a lot better. Sylvan Library is here. We can put the trips back. Bitter Triumph is insulation against a fast reanimate. So is Boseiju if it's animate dead. So we're going to keep that, and we're going to put the trips on the bottom. Alright, well there goes the Sylvan Library probably, but we do still get to ramp. I'm going to grab our island here. And here's the carry added. Next turn we can get Grist with Green Suns, which is probably pretty good. Yeah, okay. We don't even have to commit our Boseiju. I like that. I think we are likely to chump block with the insect, but it's probably fine. This eventually gets Death Touch, I think. 3/3 Death Touch, Phyrexian Human, yeah. Alright, they are all hand attack over there. Ooh, okay. That might be pretty good for us, actually. That's a lot of cards spent just like dealing 2 damage to Grist. Okay, well that's an insane draw. get this one. Okay, they concurrence me, take the Bitter Triumph, doesn't matter much because we have Grist. Grist sacking triplets is really good. We'll have to see what they've got. Okay, it's a good one. I did not stop in my upkeep fast enough. I would have killed this, but that's fine. Let's, I think I'm gonna go ahead and sack a triplet to kill Sheoldred. And then swing with the tramplers and see how they block. I'm gonna sack the non-token one. I think. I guess we saw animated out of them. Okay, never mind. That's bad. Let's not do that. And then I think what I want to do here actually is just make the Gold Vein Hydra, because I think it's pretty likely that they flip the curtains, and then I'll just lose the Hydra anyway. So I'm going to hold up the Bitter Triumph, and that's just, I know this is not the most, not the best use of Gold Vein Hydra, but I would rather have it on the battlefield than in my graveyard. They do have enough mana to transform the curtains and also upgrade the sleeper, which, probably not great, because then I can't block profitably. Oh, interesting. They just have Luris in the deck. I mean, yeah, that's fine. They don't have anything to cast with it right now. Okay, they're out of here. Well, that's what the deck is supposed to do. Green Suns for Grist, and then Natural to my Grist token. We haven't seen a whole lot of that so far this league, but it is what it is. Gonna run this one back, I think. One land Ignoble Hierarch. It's tempting, but I don't think it is correct. This is roughly the same hand, but it does have a troll this time, so that's good. And keep this one. I'm going to bottom the triplets. And yeah, this hand is actually pretty good. I'm going to lead on a Mana Dork instead of leading on cycling the troll. It does depend on what I draw, but the acceleration is more important, I think. Ooh, okay. They can't actually get me off of Mana Dork here. That's kind of cool. I wonder if that prices them into taking the Dark Ritual, or if they would rather me have 1 Mana Dork than 2 Mana Dorks. But wow, having a 2 mana removal spell that can't get IOK'd is pretty sick. They did take the birds, okay. So as I said, we're gonna go like this. We don't get punished too hard for removal spell, because we do of course have the troll for our next land drop. Well, we'll see what they got. Hopefully anything besides Hymn to Turok. Yeah, alright. Fair enough. Oh, we found another land that lets us cycle Troll and Noble Hierarch, which seems pretty good to me. Wait, unyield. Unyield. I don't even know how to do that. I would like to respond to this, though. Stop passing. 5. No. Okay. Well. Now I'm not so worried about casting things on curve because they're just going to take all of my resources, and all I have to do is make anything that's better than an Orcish Bowmaster's. So I'm just going to grab this, I think. Playing the Bloodstained Mire now gives me fewer lands in deck, I guess. I also eventually might want to cycle the Proving Ground, although doing that right now is very bad. I'm going to play this. I am going to yield through this turn. I guess the attack is fine. Let's see, attack. Yeah. I'm not blocking with it. And they're probably not blocking either, and if they do, that's really good for me. This is a completely different side of the deck than what I saw in games 1 and 2. They actually, it's kind of funny, they basically did the legacy juke of turn my Scaminator deck into a mono black aggro deck post board, except in limited. Okay, well I guess we're just going to die to drawing nothing but lands. I think we have enough mana at this point that I'd rather see an extra card with the Proving Ground, and I'm comfortable with... Oh, I guess what I can do is cycle it now, and then it doesn't die. I didn't think of that. Maybe I will do that. Then I can have my cake and eat it too. Look at that. So they do get to make their thing bigger and hit me in the face, but I get to keep my Noble Hierarch, which I think is pretty relevant. So next turn, Regrowth can get me a 3-drop I can cast immediately, or I can get Virtue. I guess if I Regrowth for Virtue for Deep Cavern Bat, then I can go Virtue Persistence next, but there's nothing to actually get right now. I mean, there's the Troll, but I don't think I'm racing the Dauthi Voidwalker with the Troll, am I? 1, 2, this is a 6-5. I think I'm still losing that race, so I probably have to kill the Voidwalker with the Virtue. That's what I got. I'm not dead here. I'm not blocking. Yeah, we'll just keep poking in. Oh no. That's probably really bad. Basic Island. Probably one of the worst possible draws here. Well, yeah, that's Magic for you. Sometimes you draw all of your worst cards and you lose. I guess Regrowth was a really good draw. I'll give him that. But other than that, pretty much just lands. I am not technically dead yet. But they did just get to Demonic Tutor, so that's pretty bad. Alright, opponent. Show me any removal spell. I guess it's probably Sheoldred, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that kills me. Concede game. A disappointing 0-3. I mean, the deck wasn't that good, but it didn't look like an 0-3 deck to me. Can I view the deck? What does this button do? Yeah, there we go. This is way better than what I was doing before. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at this. This structurally looks like it should be better than just being straight mono green. I think I mentioned that towards the end of the mono green video, where I was hoping to leverage the fact that I was green to splash more powerful cards, which I definitely did here. Like Uro, Grist, these cards are way better than just like random green 3-drops that I was playing before. And I mean, we had tight matches, I would say. We lost a really close game 3 in match 2. We lost a pretty close game 1 in match 1, if I recall correctly, whichever was the Thalia one. And yeah, and then of course there were some games where we just got flashed on turn 1 and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the deck was fun. And frankly, I would prefer to be drafting something besides Vintage Cube. So Daybreak, if you're listening, please bring me Legacy Cube or some other thing that doesn't have Flash in it. I would enjoy that. Anyway, I think that's about it for this one, and I will see you all next time.